this video, I will give a simple explanation on how the two solar power technologies, which are photovoltaic technology and concentrated solar power technology, work. PV technology converts solar radiation into direct current electricity using semiconductors, which use photovoltaic effect to generate electrical power. Photovoltaic technology using solar panels composed of solar cells containing a photovoltaic material, especially silicon and cadmium telluride. The principal idea of photovoltaic effects is matter emits negatively charged electrons because their absorption of energy from electromagnetic radiation of wavelength. Electrons emitted in this manner can be called photoelectrons. Concentrated solar power technology uses thousands of mirrors or lenses to concentrate a large area of sun rays into a single point. In CSP system, the sunlight is collected and stored as heat. Then the heat is used to heat a fluid and produce steam. The steam drives a turbine and generates power in the same way as conventional power plants. Therefore, unlike the PV system, CSP system converts solar energy into thermal energy to produce electricity. Solar power is a clean and pollution-free energy. It causes no greenhouse gases to be emitted after installation because the sun's energy is converted into electricity, requiring no fuel or moving parts. Therefore, solar power enhances sustainability and reduces pollution. Accompanying with that, the cost of mitigating global warming will also be lowered. It will increase countries' energy security through reliance on an indigenous and mostly import-dependent resource, because by doing this, it reduces dependence on foreign oil and fossil fuels. As a result, it will also keep fossil fuel prices lower than otherwise. Compared to other renewable clean energy, solar energy has advantages as well. It is available every day of the year, even cloudy days. Panels of getting solar energy can be installed virtually anywhere, no matter it is in a field or on a building. It is not limited by location. Solar energy not only can be converted into electricity, but it is also a thermal energy that can be used as heating water, cooking, or water treatment. Moreover, the solar energy virtually doesn't need any maintenance as solar panels last over 30 years. Since it does not need any additional resources as input during its operation fee is way lower than traditional energy plants. Although solar energy has a lot of advantages, it is still not a perfect renewable energy. For example, the solar plants always have a large initial capital cost. The average cost in 2017 to install large-scale solar systems is over $2,000 per kilowatt. For the distributed residential solar system, this cost increases to almost $3,700 per kilowatt. However, a new natural gas plant only costs around $1,000 per kilowatt. Also, the solar plant produces the most energy in midday and generates nothing after sunset. However, the demand curve shows oppositely. People consume more energy at night and less in daytime. As more solar are present, the electricity demand in midday becomes much lower. Every year means new solar capacity, which means the midday demand dip lower and lower. This drop in demand phenomenon is called the duck curve, which will create two problems. The first is grid flexibility. At the sunset, solar energy output ends, but the demand of electricity increases rapidly. So the power plants need to quickly increase the production to compensate this energy gap, which is difficult to achieve under the current power technology. The second problem is the traditional power plants are only economic when they are operating all the time. If you want to turn them off at the midday, this will completely interrupt its economy. Therefore, an artificial floor of solar energy is created. At the midday, there is the amount of solar output below this floor being wasted, which is called the curtailment. If you want the solar energy to charge everything, you must find a way to store this curtailment. The more power it can store, the more solar capacity can be expected. Boosted by a strong solar PV market, in 2016, new solar PV capacity around the world grew by 50%, reaching over 75 gigawatts. Today, China represents half of global solar PV demand, while Chinese companies account for about 60% of total annual solar cell manufacturing capacity globally. Despite policy uncertainty, the United States remains the second largest growth market for renewables. Continuing on its record-breaking trajectory, the United States solar industry surpassed 20 gigawatts of total operational solar PV capacity during the second quarter of 2016, and by the end of 2017, the total capacity of installed PV power has become 51 gigawatts. In the European Union, renewable growth over the forecast period is 40% lower compared with the previous 5-year period. Solar PV and wind together represent 90% of India's capacity growth, as auctions yielded some of the world's lowest prices for technologies. As for the future of solar power for the next 5 years, solar PV represents the largest annual capacity additions for renewables, well above wind and hydro. Wind and solar together will represent more than 80% of global renewable capacity growth in the next 5 years. International Energy Agency analysis finds that renewable capacity growth could be boosted by another 30%, which is an extra 1,150 gigawatts by 2022. The administration also launched a national community solar partnership to set a goal to install 300 megawatts of renewable energy in federally subsidized housing and provide technical assistance to make it easier to install solar, including clarifying how to use federal funding. In some European countries, such as Ireland, Germany, and the United Kingdom, the share of wind and solar in total generation will exceed 25%.